Good afternoon, judges and members of the House. As Prime Minister, I will respond to the opposition's case and explain why abolishing the IRS is not the right solution to the problems they described. The opposition spends most of their speech explaining how confusing and stressful the tax system is. On that point, we actually agree. Filing taxes can be difficult and overwhelming for many Americans. However, identifying problems in a system does not justify eliminating the institution entirely. The question before the House is not whether the IRS is perfect, but whether abolishing it makes things better. But it does not. The opposition argues that the tax code is too complex and that most Americans need accountants or softwares to file. But abolishing the IRS does not remove complexity. It simply shifts it. Any tax system still requires enforcement, oversight, and administration. Without an agency like the IRS, there is no reliable way to collect revenue, prevent fraud, or ensure fairness. Removing the IRS would create confusion, not simplicity. They also claim the IRS causes anxiety because of audits and penalties. But audits exist to make sure the system is fair. Without enforcement, honest taxpayers would pay while dishonest ones avoid their obligations entirely. Abolishing the IRS would actually make inequality worse, not better, because there would be no mechanism to hold powerful individuals and corporations accountable. The opposition repeatedly claims the system favors the wealthy. This is a reason to strengthen enforcement, not remove it. Wealthy individuals already exploit loopholes. Eliminating the IRS removes the very agency designed to monitor and limit that behavior. Without it, the wealth gap would grow even wider. They propose replacing the IRS with a flat or consumption-based tax. These alternatives are inherently regressive. Low and middle income families spend a higher percentage of their income on basic needs, meaning they would carry a heavier burden under these systems. A so-called simpler tax is not automatically a fairer one. The opposition also argues that abolishing the IRS would save money. In reality, the IRS collects trillions of dollars each year at a relatively low administrative cost. Replacing it would require creating a new entirely system, training employees, and redesigning enforcement from scratch. That transition would be extremely expensive and disruptive. Most importantly, the opposition misunderstands the real issue. The IRS does not write tax laws. Congress does. Abolishing the IRS does nothing to fix the laws that make taxes complicated. Reforming the tax code, simplifying forms, and expanding free filing options would directly address the stress Americans feel without destroying the institution that funds essential public services. Government revenue supports schools, infrastructures, healthcare, disaster relief, and public safety. Abolishing the IRS threatens the stability of these programs by weakening tax collection. The opposition has not shown how their proposal would maintain consistent funding without massive revenue loss. At the end of this debate, the opposition has expressed frustration, but frustration is not a policy solution. Abolishing the IRS creates more problems than it solves. The government believes in reform, not elimination. For these reasons, we urge the House to reject the opposition's proposal and support improving, not abolishing the IRS. Thank you.